Okay, so we're going to talk about um, subscription confirmation and lead magnets, basically deliverability of our sequences, making sure that they're actually happening as we expect them to. I've had more than a few people reaching out to me for help on that matter, so I hope this video can be short, succinct, and helpful. I am using the ConvertKit email service provider platform, but if you're using a different ESP, hopefully there's still some things in here that you can glean that will help you. Now, the settings screens are going to look a lot different, but some of the stuff is still the same. So I'm inside of ConvertKit and I've made a landing page for PayHip. PayHip is it's a platform to host courses, basically like Thinkific or Kajabi. Okay, so I built this very primitive landing page. Says join the newsletter. I want your email, your first name, and I've hit subscribe, and I've got to subscribe. Now, you might not be able to see it because my face up here, but we do want to save it. And when we hit publish, that's going to give us some options. The share option is the URL. So I can actually share this URL and that it'll open up as its own web page. I also could grab the HTML code if I want to paste this into my website, my web page, or I can grab WordPress and use this if I've downloaded the ConvertKit WordPress plugin. But the share is a great way to do it. Also, if you're using WordPress, you should just have the ConvertKit plugin installed, and then you can just click this from a drop-down menu, and that'll be it. But the share button is a great way to do it, HTML, of course, to embed it on your web page. So that's how we share it when you hit the publish button. Some other things you're going to want to check inside settings. You see there's 4 options here. The first is general, and it says show a success message. And so what happens is after they subscribe, they enter the 2 fields or 1 field or whatever you've asked them to enter, and they hit the subscribe button. The screen kind of whites out, and it says this, success. Now check your email to confirm your subscription. Now, I really want to drive home the point that we need to let our subscribers know, or our potential subscribers know, what they need to do or what they should expect from us. So I like to add a little bit in here, like if it's not there in 1 to 2 minutes, check your spam folder, or just tell them what's coming on their way. But we do want them going to their email. We do want them to wait a minute because sometimes it does take a minute and people get anxious in this modern age. And also they need to know that it might end up in the spam folder. So I try and say all of that on this screen. You could also send them to your own website. You could build a web page on a page on your website that would have this information. Now, I don't know that that would be very effective because you want them going to their email, not looking at anything else. So I would just keep it on the success message. But we might talk more about that in a little bit. Now, domain, you can link your domain to this. And so right now, when I hit publish, you saw it says like hustling producer / something, and they have a bunch of fun little names, but you can connect it to your website through here. You've got to do the back, set it up in your account settings. Okay, incentive, this is where the email is, and we've looked at this before, but you can edit your email contents in here, and we do have trainings on what that should look like. However, you can hit this button to auto confirm new subscribers. Now, what that means is the minute they fill out the form, they're on your list. If you don't click that, they have to go into their email and hit the confirm button or hit the button that you have, say, whatever you have it say. So right now it says confirm your subscription, but you might say download my cheat sheet or whatever. But once they click that button, that's how they get confirmed. You can bypass that by clicking this, but that is not best practices, and it's actually not allowed in some countries and in some rules. And I don't know all the legality to it, but I know you're supposed to leave it this way, not auto confirming them. Then after confirming, they're going to get redirected either to your download, and you can choose a file, or to a URL. Now, if you just leave it like this, ConvertKit has a nice little page that says, thank you, you've been automatically subscribed. Can't wait to send you more stuff, or something like that. Very generic. I would not do that. If you're going to not have a download, like you're actually using an email list, or this is how they get into some kind of funnel and you're expecting the next email to come to do the job, I would still go create your own page on your website. Just hide it so that no one can see it. And I would give them information here. I recently enrolled in someone's conference, and after you hit the subscribe button, they didn't tell you what was coming next. And so I was very confused. Like, I'm trying to get into the conference, but there was no information on what to expect. Well, I was supposed to get another email as soon as I hit subscribe that would give me more information. And they did that because they were sending different timed ones out based on when they did it, but they didn't say that. And I didn't know. And it was frustrating. It did take a couple minutes, even though they were using an ESP, for it to arrive in my email, which happens. And if I wasn't like really committed, I would have bounced. So if you're not doing a download, use a URL and send them somewhere that's going to get some action. It could be to your TPT page or to your Facebook group or your Instagram page, or just your own website that you custom build, and you show them some things that you offer and you give them a message. Thanks for subscribing. Here's what to expect. Something like that. Okay. There are some advanced options about when customers are already on your list, should you show it to them and things like that. Which I don't think we need to spend time here. But anyhow, that's the basics on your landing page settings. Okay, and that's also how to set up to have the automatic download. So if you've done all of that, you know that it's working right. And so then it's a matter of sending it to people. Now, what I would recommend is you hit the publish button, you copy this, you open it on a new, if you're in Chrome, you got to go into a new profile, open it not on the profile you're logged into ConvertKit on, so maybe even guest or incognito, fill out the form, make sure it's working, come back into your ConvertKit and check on the homepage that you subscribed, see if it got your name. Go into your email. Did you get the email? Okay. Now the next thing is on sequences. So my my screen is blocked for me for the moment. Here we go. Okay, so the sequences, we want to make sure those are working, and that's why you should be the first one to subscribe to your list. That way you're getting all the emails and you can go in and check it regularly. And you know, if you're sending these out one day apart and you get it, you're always going to be ahead of everybody else. So you can make sure that everything's running smoothly. Now, you know, hopefully, you know, you can change the timing on when these come out. But if you build this so that the customer fills out the form and then automatically gets dumped into the sequence, they'll get the incentive email. They'll click the button to download the thing or confirm their subscription. And then this first email will come automatically. So it should come within a minute or two, which is with that example I was just talking about. Now you can change this to come in a couple days or in a few hours. You can say in one day, but never on Sunday, or whatever you want to do here. So you have options on the deliverability. You also can change the time that they normally come. So if it says one day, it's going to come around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can change this. You can pick different times for the emails to come when they're not set to automatically or several hours. So if you're doing the days option, this is here. There's other settings in there, but let's not get too far into the weeds on this training. So over here, you see the list of emails that you have in your sequence. So let's click on this next one. Now you see it's set to draft. So it's there and I can work on it. However, this email is not going out because it hasn't been published. Once I change some things in here, then I can hit the publish button. And now this email will start going out to people on the list after they subscribe, after they get the first email that waits a day, and then this one goes out to them. Okay, one more thing in settings that you do want to make sure is you set up your send email as. Now you do this inside your profile options on ConvertKit, but I do recommend you using your name, probably your first and last name, or like me, I'm using my first and last name and the business. Studies show that your name has much higher open rates than your business name. Now, I use both, and there's not really studies on that I'm aware of, but I just think it's a little more effective and it looks a little nicer in my opinion, but even if you just use your name, that's fine. Okay, so that is really the basics. If you're worried that something's not going through, these are your quick checks. You want to check and make sure everything's set to publish. There's no draft options. You want to go into the landing form and you want to make sure your settings are all set up properly, that you've got the incentive or the success email going through and all that. And then what you actually want to do is you want to publish this, copy this, subscribe to it using a different email address, or even this one, it's fine. And then check your email to see that it's going through. And that's going to eliminate 95% of any issues you might have with deliverability and subscription confirmation. Hope this helped.